So we started doing logarithms. So a question like this, 7 to the power of 2x minus 4 brackets, 7 to the 2x, close the brackets, plus 3 equals 0, and they want you to solve the equation for x. So if I look at this, I think the first thing we need to do is rewrite this as 7 to the x squared minus 4, 7 to the x plus 3 equals 0. Once we do that, you could look at this and maybe think I could look at this as a quadratic equation that I need to factor. So maybe to make this easier, I'm going to let m be the 7 to the x. And then wherever I have a 7 to the x, I'm going to substitute m. So 7 to the x, which is I'm going to substitute m for, is going to become m squared minus, and this is m again, plus 3 equals 0. I'm going to factor this, and I'm going to get m minus 3, m minus 1 equals 0, because what multiplies to give you positive 3 and add to give you negative 4, these are the two numbers. And therefore, m equals 3 or m equals 1. Now, we shouldn't forget that m is 7 to the x. So now, instead of m, just write 7 to the x equals 3, or 7 to the x equals 1. To solve for x here, we have to use logs. So I'm going to log both sides. So I have log 7 to the x equals log 3. Now I'm going to bring the x down. X log 7 equals log 3. And therefore, I'm going to divide both sides by log 7. I'm going to get x equals log 3 over log 7. So any of you that want to remember the rule that I used here to bring the x down, so for any of us that want to know that how I brought the x down is a log rule that says if you have log m to the power of a, you could bring the a down and becomes a log m. So just think that m is the 7 here and a is the x, and that's what I did. I just wrote the x down, and that way I could, and this is the exact value. If you want to find x in a decimal, then just on your calculator go log 3 divided by log 7, and that will be what x value is, but this is exact value. And here it's much easier because 7 to the power of x equals 1. Therefore, x equals 0, because anything to the power of 0 gives you 1. So x here is 0. Now with this question right here, they want me to solve for y. And they give me log base 2 of y over 4 equals 3. So I'm going to resort to this rule that allows me from changing log form to exponential form. So if you look at this here x represents the y over 4, a represents the 2, and b represents the 3. So therefore, x, which is the y over 4 here, y over 4 would equal the base, which is 2, that's the a, to the power of b, which is the 3 here. And therefore, y over 4 equals 2 cubed is 8, and then just cross multiply the 4 into the 8, y equals 32. Here's another question that involves this rule right here. So therefore here, the x, or the place of x is where the x minus 2 is, the place of the a is where the 3 is, and the place of the b where the negative 1 is. So therefore, This will give you x minus 2 equals 3 to the power of negative 1. And x minus 2 will equal 1 over 3. 3 to the negative 1 is a negative exponent, so you flip it and make the exponent positive, so it becomes 1 over 3 to the power of 1. And therefore, you move the negative 2 to the other side, so it'll be 1/3 plus 2. When you move it to the other side, you change the sign, and x would equal, the common denominator is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1 times 1 is 1, plus 3 divided by 1 is 3, times 2 is 6, which gives me 7 over 3. That's what x equals. So here's another question that might look a bit more challenging. So what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to cross multiply this to there, and I will get log base 2 32 plus log base 2 16 equals, when you multiply this by this, you're going to get log base 2 x squared. Now, if you go to this rule and you want to solve for this, when I ask you what's log base 2 32, basically what I'm asking you 2 to the power of what, or 2 to the power of something gives you 32. So what is it? So 2 to the power of what gives you 32? It's 2 to the 5. So therefore, log base 2 32 just simply 5 plus, what's log base 2 16? So again, I'm asking you 2 to the power of what gives you 16? 2 to the power of 4. So therefore, log base 2 16 is 4 equals log base 2 x squared. Now this is 9 equals log base 2 x squared. I'm going to square root both sides to get rid of the square, and it's going to give me plus or minus 3 equals log base 2x. Now I'm just going to take this, write it twice. Log base 2 x equals 3, and log base 2 x equals negative 3. And then we're going to go back to this rule and change this into x equals 2 to the power of 3, which gives you x equals 8. And I'm going to change this to x equals 2 to the negative 3. Any of you who don't like negative exponents, all you need to do here, just flip this. This is over 1, so you go 1 over 2, and then the exponent becomes positive, and therefore you get 1 over 8. So here's another random question. So when we're doing logs, I think the best thing for you to do right now is move this, or I'm going to move all of this to this side, move the 1 to the other side. 2 log base 3x minus log base 3 28x minus 9 equals negative 1. I'm going to use this rule first to bring this 2 up on the x. So I have log base 3 x squared minus log base 3 28 x minus 9 equals negative 1. Now I'm going to combine these two here, and then if you look at this, when you're minusing log x minus log y, it gives you log x over y. So this is minusing right here, so I'm just going to write it as 1 log base 3 x squared over 28x minus 9 in brackets to the power of negative equals negative 1. Now I'm going to use this first rule here, so I'm going to change it from logarithmic form to exponential form. So therefore, x squared over 28 minus 28x minus 9 equals 3 to the power of negative 1, which gives me x squared over 28x minus 9 equals 1/3, because 3 to the negative 1 just becomes 1 over 3 to the power of 1. Now I'm going to cross multiply the 3 to the x squared and the 28x and minus 9 is into the 1. So I'm going to get, and I'm just going to carry this right here. I'm going to get 3x squared equals 28x minus 9. I'm going to bring everything to one side, equate it to 0. So I have 3x squared minus 28x plus 9 equals 0. I cannot take out the greatest common factor 3 because it doesn't go into 28. So therefore I have to factor this using my method. And so I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me 27 and add to give me negative 28. And I get the 27 by multiplying the 3 into 9. And then the negative 28, just it's the coefficient of x. These two numbers here will be negative 27 and negative 1. And therefore, I'm going to factor this into x minus 27, x minus 1 equals 0. Now, it doesn't stop here because we have a 3 as a coefficient of x squared. That means you have to divide this and this by 3. This is the method I use to factor when I have a coefficient in front of the x squared that I cannot factor out. I know a lot of you use decomposition. I do it differently, but you could do decomposition just to solve this. And therefore, this will give me x minus 9. And this here, since the 1 doesn't divide by 3, just take the 3 in front of the x right here. 3x minus 1 equals 0. And therefore, x equals 9 and 1/3. Now, when you get the answers, you always have to go back and look. So you could log the 9 and the 1/3. You cannot log 0. You cannot log a negative number. However, the 9 here would work, but 1/3 times 28. And also the 1/3 will work here as well, because if you go 28 times 1/3, it will give you just 9.33, and then minus 9 will give you still a positive number. So both of these numbers work, and they are both the answer for this question. The next time, thank you for watching. Math is like a puzzle, and it's always fun to solve puzzles. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye. Happy New Year to all of you. Bye-bye.